Hi everyone. Today's topic, as you can see, is electricity, but this chapter would mainly be for those candidates who are appearing for the chief mate engineering knowledge subject. So this is mainly for them, but also for others. You can know how is electricity handled on board a ship. So let us proceed. On a board, this is the electrical distribution system on a ship. Normally on a ship, the electrical distribution system is 440 volts. So I'll just explain in very simple language how the distribution looks like. These three are the generators. Normally on board there are three generators. Larger ships there may be more. Not there may be, there will be more. Like large container ship there will be 4 or 5 or even 6 generators depending on the load demand. So these are the three generators. They supply to the main bus bar, that is the main supply line, which is 440 volts. From here, the 440 volt goes to various 440 volt equipment. On board, we have got various types of pumps, big and small, or the supply goes from the main switchboard or the main bus bar. Now, another line you see from the main bus bar goes to the emergency switchboard. From the main generator, supply comes to the main switchboard and a portion goes to the emergency switchboard. So, under normal conditions, when any one of these generators or any two or all three are running, power is supplied to the main bus bar. From here, it is supplied to different 440 volt pumps or equipment. Another supply comes to a transformer because there are various lightings on board a ship which run on 220 or sometimes 110 volts. So there is a transformer which steps down the voltage to 220, and these are the various lines going to the various lighting circuits. Now in the lines you may have noticed some cross marks. These are the circuit breakers. These are the ACBs, automatic circuit breakers connecting the generator to the main switchboard, and these are the individual circuit breakers for each equipment. These are the individual circuit breakers for each lighting circuit. For example, every deck will have an individual circuit breaker, so to protect that circuit. From here the line goes to the another transformer which steps it down to 24 volt DC. We have got a rectifier here. So the 220 stepped down to 24 and then made into DC. This DC supply supplies the emergency battery. The emergency battery are being charged, either trickle charge or full charge, which we shall discuss little later. And of course, another line goes to the emergency switchboard from where different emergency equipment are supplied. Here, of course, there is a step-down transformer again, which supplies the emergency lights on board a ship. Now, whenever any of these generators fail, or suppose all the three generators fail, obviously there will be a blackout. So even the emergency switchboard goes into a blackout. In that case, automatically the emergency generator will start and start supplying the emergency equipment and the emergency lighting. Till that time that one of the main generators is made available, when it will automatically shut down and the supply will switch over from the main switchboard. So this is how the power distribution system on board system works. It's a very simple line. I just mentioned emergency generator. Let us see something about emergency generator. I said the emergency generator supplies the emergency equipment. What are these emergency equipment? Let us see those equipment which supplied by the emergency generator. The emergency generator cannot supply power to the complete ship. It's a small generator. So it supplies only to the bare minimum emergency equipment. Let us see what are the equipment. One steering gear motor, both is not required. One steering gear motor, emergency fire pump, at least one engine room vent fan, emergency lighting, strategic locations including the muster station, boat station and lifeboat embarkation lights. Yes, there are more emergency equipment, lifeboat winch to hoist the lifeboat, navigational aids and lights, GPS, LRIT, all these, and the navigation lights. External communication, the ship is in communication with the shore. That communication will be supplied from the emergency generator. Even internal communication, the telephones between cabins, between engine room and bridge, that also will be supplied by the emergency generator. Elevator, if fitted, if there is a lift on board, obviously that has to be supplied. If somebody is traveling, then he would get stuck. Emergency and radio communication battery. I just showed in the power distribution system that there is an emergency battery. The charging of that will be from the emergency switchboard. Firefighting system, fixed firefighting system, if power is required. For example, your sprinkler system, hypermist system, foam system, all this fixed firefighting system, they would require electrical power that will be supplied from the emergency generator. All indication and alarm system, whether on the bridge or whether it's in the engine room, they are supplied by the emergency generator. One main air compressor. If one main air compressor is not supplied from the emergency generator, then there must be an emergency air compressor, diesel driven. Now let us see the starting of an emergency generator. What's the regulation for starting of an emergency generator? At least two modes of starting must be there. The two modes is battery start, that is compulsory. It must have a battery start. And another option, either it can be a hydraulic or it can be a pneumatic start. This is a picture of an emergency generator room. Those who have been sailing will know that this is the emergency generator room. This is the control panel which we shall be referring to very soon. So the two starting modes, battery start must, and either hydraulic or a pneumatic starting system. Let us see the individual starting systems. How do we test an emergency generator? Because emergency generator is not running every day. So it has to be tested to keep it in running condition so that when required, when there is a blackout, it should start up automatically and start supplying the emergency equipment and lighting. Procedure for battery start. So go to the emergency generator room and look for the panel on the emergency generator, check the sump level, put the switch on the manual mode from automatic mode and press the green start button. The generator engine will start. This is the control panel of the emergency generator. This is the switch that you have to switch over from auto to manual mode, and then you press the green button which will start the diesel engine for the generator, but it will not come on load because we are just testing whether the engine is fine. So once we start the press the green button, the generator will start. What do we do? Yes, we have to check the voltage and frequency in the meter and keep the engine running for 10 to 15 minutes. Check that all the parameters are okay. And then once you are satisfied that the engine is okay, press the red stop button and the engine will stop. But do not forget to switch this. This was in manual mode. It must be switched back to auto mode. Otherwise, if there is a blackout, the generator or rather the emergency generator won't start on auto. So for testing, you have to put it to manual mode, turn it to manual mode. Once you have completed the testing, it must be switched over back to auto mode. Very, very important point. Now let us see a hydraulic starting system. This is the hydraulic pump, and we have got a handle. We have to pump this handle several times to pressurize the accumulator. There will be a pressure gauge somewhere over here which will show you the pressure is okay. And obviously on the generator panel, we have to switch over the manual auto switch to manual. This has to be switched over here, and then you carry on with the starting method. Pump the hydraulic oil, build up the pressure, and then just press this knob out here. Hydraulic oil will go to the hydraulic starter and the engine starts. Same thing, keep it running for 10-15 minutes. All the parameters are okay. Open the valve, push the spring-loaded valve. This is the spring-loaded valve. Push it down. The pressurized hydraulic oil will start the engine. Check the voltage and frequency. Keep the generator running for 10-15 minutes. Then press the red stop button. Put the switch, select a switch, back to auto mode, and your testing is over. Now let us see the procedure for testing on air starting. This is the air cylinder. From here the air comes to the air motor. This gear is connected to the generator engine. This is the start button. So you start off, the select a switch from auto, it must be switched over to the manual mode. Press this switch, air comes in and your engine starts. Keep it running for 10-15 minutes. Push the red stop button, engine stops. Do not forget to change over the selector switch from manual to auto, and you are good to go. You have just tested your generator air starting system. Automatic starting. That means when there is a power failure, whether the generator, the emergency generator starts off automatically. How do you test that? For automatic starting, there must be a blackout, which we cannot do. Your ship is either loading or discharging. We cannot have a blackout. So what we do, we simulate that by opening the breaker which supplies electricity from the MSB to the emergency switchboard. There will be a breaker out here. We just open it. So the supply to the ESB stops, but MSB is still being supplied from the main generators. So once the supply to the ESB is shut off, the emergency generator will start off automatically and start supplying the emergency switchboard. So that is how we try out. So we open the breaker. That breaker is called a bus tie breaker. For stopping the generator, the breaker is closed. The main generator starts supplying into the ESB. The emergency generator goes offload, and then you can put it to manual and stop the emergency generator. This is how we show the testing of an emergency generator auto system when an inspector comes on board, either a port state inspector or a surveyor. This is how we show them the automatic operation of the emergency generator. Regulations for emergency generator. Emergency source must be installed in a position such that they are unlikely to be damaged or affected by any incident which has caused failure to the main power. So the main power is in the engine room. That means the emergency generator must be outside the engine room. Emergency source of power should be capable of operating with a list of 22.5 degrees and a trim of up to 10 degrees. Emergency generator with its switchboard is located in a compartment which is outside and away from the main machinery space, above the uppermost continuous deck and never forward of the collision bulkhead. Emergency generator shall automatically start and come on load within 45 seconds of a blackout. Capable of supplying emergency services or equipment for 36 hours on a passenger ship and 18 hours for a cargo ship. Driven by a suitable prime mover with an independent supply of fuel, having a flash point of not less than 43 degrees centigrade. This is a main switchboard.